I went ahead and I put on here that a picture's worth 1,000 words. They told me I couldn't say very much, so I thought I would go ahead and do it with pictures. This is the reason that I got involved with the Down Syndrome Association of Houston. This is David with his longtime buddy. Dan Lee and he were put together when David was just 4 weeks old at Keep Pace. And from then until they graduated from high school, they were best buddies. So this is what your kids are going to be able to experience. Before I go to the next picture, I want to go ahead and give you an idea of what my background was. When David was born 20 years ago, and it seems like only yesterday, I had no idea what Down syndrome was. When the doctor came in to explain to us that David might have, you know how they always tell you might have Down syndrome, I looked at him and I said, okay, so fix it. And he looked at me and he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, if you can replace, kidneys, if you can replace hearts, why can't you take that Down syndrome and replace it? And he says, you need to do some reading. So he told the social worker at the hospital to go ahead and bring me some literature. The very first book that I ever saw on Down syndrome was when they still had the kids in institutions. And there was a little boy behind bars, and that was the front of the picture. I cried for 30 days, guys, because I couldn't get that picture out of my mind. And we all go through that. It's natural that we didn't get the child that we were expecting, and so we have to mourn for him. So I cried for 30 days, and on day 31, I said, okay, it's over. Let's get this behind us, and let's see what we can do. My husband was probably over the fact that our son had Down syndrome in about 10 minutes. When the doctor told us that he had Down syndrome and he could go ahead and leave him at the hospital because they would take care of him, they would put him in the right place, my husband almost jumped across the bed and said, we're taking our son home. It doesn't matter what he's got, he's still our son, and he's going home with us. And even if he grows up to be the best trash collector in the whole world, he's our son, and that's what he's going to do. So this is where it all started for me. You guys are going to all have your own individual stories to tell. This is not what I had envisioned, but I thank God every day for David, because I have met the most wonderful people, have had the most wonderful experiences because of him. And so when you look back, and I've been looking back for 20 years, so I have a lot more to look at than you guys do. But when you look back at what this child has meant in your life, you're going to feel exactly the same way. So just to give you an idea, this is David with the Navy JROTC. His brother was in ROTC, and he has always followed in his brother's footsteps. Talk about stubborn. When he got into high school, he went up to Master Chief and said, I want to be in ROTC just like my brother. And he did this every single day for a year. When we got ready to be at the art meeting, when he was going into his next year, I walk in and I was surprised to see Master Chief there. And I said, oh my God, what are you doing here? And he says, what do you think? And I said, you couldn't take it anymore. And he said, really, to tell you the truth, it wasn't David. It was the other cadets. Because Daniel had been in ROTC, and Daniel and David were always together. The cadets told Master Chief, I think we should go ahead and let David come into the program. I bet he could enjoy it. And he had the best 4 years of his life because he was involved with all the other kids. And they took him under his wing and did everything that they could to make him feel a part of the whole program. And talk about discipline. Do you know what they make you do if you don't want to do something? They make it happen. And I used a lot of the techniques that he was learning to get him to do the stuff that I needed him to do for me. So find something that your child really, really loves, and then go for it. Let him try it. Don't be afraid. This is David at work. David graduated when he was 19. I wanted him to continue with, we have so many wonderful educational classes at the junior college, and this is what I wanted for him. You know, wanted him to continue. David put his foot down and said, nope, I'm going to start work. Again, listen to your kids. He does the best job of working that forklift I can't even turn it on. So he does great with it. This is the grand finale. This is the reason that I'm here. This is our son Daniel, who just graduated from the Naval Academy in May, with David, his big brother, his little brother, and then that's my husband, my son, and David at the military ball. Brotherhood. These two guys are so close, it's unbelievable. Now I'm going to talk to you about the Down Syndrome Association of Houston. The reason I got involved was because I wanted to make a difference for David. I wanted to make sure that there was nothing that could be done. I didn't want to miss a step. And so I thought, what better way to do it than to be with the people that know what to do? And so 4 weeks after David was born, I attended the first Down Syndrome monthly meeting, and it was the president of the association and myself. And I thought, I'm not going to get a lot of support if it's just the two of us. At that time, we were having our meetings at the Texas Children's Hospital in the basement. Half of you probably spend more time at Texas Children's than you want to. So to get you back every month for a monthly meeting was not the right thing to do. So the first thing that we did was to move the meetings to the multi-service center, and I'm very happy to say that last January we opened our own Down Syndrome Resource Center, and that has really made a big difference for our kids. One of the reasons that we're able to afford to have the Down Syndrome Resource Center is because of the Buddy Walk. The Buddy Walk is our biggest fundraiser, and this year it's going to be in November. You need to be putting together your teams right now. The Buddy Walk is what supports the programs like Gymboree that we offer, music therapy, and everything else that goes on at the Resource Center. This is our annual swim party. It's at a church. It's called Noah's Ark. And I really believe that we need to spend a lot of time with typical kids, but it's also important to spend time with kids with Down syndrome and their families. What that's going to do for you is you're going to develop friendships with families that have kids the same age as yours. And it's so nice to be able to have them sleep over somebody else's house, and you get the evening off. So try to develop those friendships, because it's also going to be great for the kids. This is a picture of our Go Hawaiian dance. We have 4 dances a year. The teens and adults get their own invitations to the dances, and they dance from the time they get there until the time that they leave. And because we have them at the same place, the kids hit the floor running. They don't even register. The parents have to stay behind and register them because they're so busy trying to get to the dance floor. This is part of our Gymboree, and our music classes. This is Bingo and Spaghetti Night. This is one of our winners of the Bingo and Spaghetti Night, and that's our resource center. This is music class, and we do music class at our monthly meetings. So this Saturday is going to be our monthly meeting. Make sure that you come. They're going to be able to enjoy that. Gymboree is something that I'm really proud of. This brings together not only the kids that are 0 to 3 and 4 years of age, but it also brings the parents together. And so you're there on the floor playing with the kids. At the same time, you're meeting other families that have kids the same age. And just like we used to do with Keep Pace and Dan Lee and David, their friendships are going to continue, hopefully, through the rest of their lives. So join us for Gymboree at the Resource Center. This year was our first summer camp. We had Campability, and Ann Fontenot did a fabulous job with it. She was so excited that she's already committed to doing 3 camps next year. So, and you have to find the people that have that talent, and she's got it for camps. The young athletes, we teamed up with Special Olympics, and they taught some of our volunteers on how to put together the Young Athletes program. And this is for kids that are about 2 all the way up to 8. And they come together and they do stuff that Special Olympics does to get them prepared. So at 8, when they can actually join Special Olympics, they will be ready. And they go through all kinds of different activities that are really fun. Here's some of our group. And that's one of our angels from the calendar. So just to give you guys an idea of what the Down Syndrome Association can offer you. The Resource Center, we have a library. None of this existed when, our kids were growing up. And so take advantage of it. Take advantage of everything that the association has to offer, because it's there for you. It's not there for anybody else, but to help you to do a better job at, parenting your children. I've been with the association since David was born, so I'm celebrating 20 years with them. And even I miss stuff. As hard as I try, we had a conference that Belinda put together on Saturday, and it was the waiver program. And when David was born, they kept saying, sign him up on all these lists, add him to all these lists. And I went and I asked, and they said, you don't qualify, forget it, go away. Well, they never told me that when he turned 18, he was going to qualify on his own. So guess what, guys? I added him to the list when he turned 18, and now he's got to wait anywhere from 8 to 10 years to qualify. So get involved with the Down Syndrome Association. Make sure that you know everything that's out there that will help your kids. Saturday, I found out there was another list that I had never even heard of. And I went ahead and I called today to sign them up, and they said, oh, you've got about 6 to 7 years to wait. If I would have been smarter, I would have had him signed up when he was born and before he even took his first breath, because right now he would be at the top of those lists. So when you go home tonight, make a list of all the lists that you're supposed to add your child to, and they'll let you know if he doesn't qualify, but it's better for you to sign him up. In 10 years, maybe he'll qualify by then. Don't do what I did. Please, learn from our mistakes. That's what we're here for. We're here to go ahead and help you guys do a better job than what we did.